Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Amber. Today we're talking about my July TBR. Now typically every single month I do like the TBR jar, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of getting sick of doing that, and I've really been more so in like a reading mood, and there's a handful of books that I've really been wanting to get to that just have not fit my prompts lately, and I'm not leaving it up to chance. So we're just gonna simply talk about the roughly like 8 to 10 books that I think I'm gonna want to read this month. Okay, so I have 9 here. This is a tad bit of a ambitious TBR because a lot of these are kind of thicker books, so we'll see, but we'll just go in order. First off, we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This one, you're following Emma, which every time she gets a boyfriend and they break up, he ends up finding like his true love with the next person after her, and she ends up finding Justin on like a Reddit thread that he's love's good luck charm, and so they end up meeting up and coming up with a plan to date each other so that hopefully the next people that they meet end up being their true loves. And then it also says, but when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected, including catching real feelings. Has fate finally brought the perfect pair together, or will their curse be way more hazardous than the curse itself? Then we have The Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen. This is the start of the Bridge Kingdom series. This is one that I've been wanting to read for like 2 years now. It used to be on Kindle Unlimited, it's not anymore, so that's why I bought the physical. I did get the new covers because I like them a lot more. This one says, a warrior princess trained in isolation, Lara is driven by 2 certainties. The first is that King Arn of the Bridge Kingdom is her enemy, and the second is that she'll be the one to bring him to his knees. The only route through the storm-ravaged world, the Bridge Kingdom of Ithacana enriches itself and deprives its rivals, including Lara's homeland. So when she's sent there as a bride under the guise of peace, Lara is prepared to do whatever it takes to fracture its impenetrable defenses and the defenses of its king. Yet as she infiltrates her new home and gains a deeper understanding of the war to possess the bridge, Lara begins to question whether she's the hero or the villain. As her feelings for her husband transform from frosty hostility to fierce passion, Lara must choose which kingdom she'll save and which she'll destroy. Then we have The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. This one just came out, a month or 2 ago? But this is the same author as the Magnolia Parks universe. This one, London-based Georgia Carter, professional lie detector and body language savant, has long been estranged from her infuriating, closed-minded, wealthy South Carolina family. After a falling out years ago, the chasm runs deep between the black sheep, Georgia, and her gay alcoholic brother, and their parents and elder siblings. But when their father dies suddenly, Georgia returns to the States for the funeral, where she comes face-to-face with Sam Penny, her brother's AA sponsor. Amid the tensions, dramas, and revelations of the family reunion, Georgia and Sam are instantly drawn to each other. However, Georgia's brother also harbors feelings for Sam, and the last thing Georgia wants to do is hurt the only family she's ever really had. When their father's will reveals a surprising bequest to a mysterious stranger, Georgia's ability to read people becomes crucial in unraveling her father's hidden past. The delicate balance within the family teeters, and secrets both old and new threaten to push them beyond the breaking point. There are only so many cracks a damaged family can take before it shatters. Now, I've heard pretty good things about this. I typically don't really like insta-love or insta-attraction, which, based on the fact that it says Georgia and Sam are instantly drawn to each other, and I have heard that this is pretty insta-lovey. I don't know how I will like this, but I'm going to give it a shot. Then we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is her new release this year. This one you're following Alice and Hayden. They both want to be able to write the biography of Margaret Ives, which nobody has seen in years. And it says she's the tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. And then Margaret ends up inviting both of them to stay with her for a month and kind of put them up against each other, and then at the end of that month she'll pick who gets to write this story about her. And each of them are only getting a portion of Margaret's story, but they both signed NDAs, so they can't discuss the portions that they've been told with each other, so neither one of them can get the full story. And then it says, An inconvenient yearning pulsing between them every time they're in the same room, and it's becoming abundantly clear that their story, just like the tale Margaret's spinning, could be a mystery, a tragedy, or a love ballad depending on who's telling it. Then we have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I'm very late to the game with this one, but this is one that I've been wanting to get to again for like 2 years. Pretty much since I got back into reading, I bought this whole series and just still have not read it. Orphaned and expendable, Lena Starkov is a soldier who knows she may not survive her first trek across the Shadowfold, a swath of unnatural darkness crawling with monsters. But when her regiment is attacked, Alina unleashes dormant magic not even she knew she possessed. Now Alina will enter a lavish world of royalty and intrigue as she trains with the Grisha, her country's magical military elite, and falls under the spell of their notorious leader, the Darkling. He believes Alina can summon a force capable of destroying the Shadowfold and reuniting their war-ravaged country, but only if she can master her untamed gift. As the threat to the kingdom mounts and Alina unlocks the secrets of her past, she will make a dangerous discovery that could threaten all she loves and the very future of a nation. Then we have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. Again, used to be on Kindle Unlimited, it no longer is, so kind of wish I would have read it when it was on Kindle Unlimited. I did end up getting the indie cover. I found it on Pango Books. I'm not gonna lie, for how popular this book is and how much it's talked about, I really have never... The only thing I know about this book is that it's supposedly Gossip Girl, but set in like the UK or something. I'm gonna look up the synopsis because this doesn't have the synopsis on it, but she is a beautiful, affluent, self-involved, and mildly neurotic London socialite. He is Britain's most photographed bad boy, Lothario, who broke her heart, but Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne are meant to be, and everyone knows it. They're in the stars, just suspended in a strange kind of love that looks like hurting each other a lot of the time. She dates other people to keep him at bay, he sleeps with other girls to get back at her for it. But at the end of their very sad endeavor to get over one another, it's still each other they crawl back to. But their dysfunction is catching up with them, pulling at the seams and fraying the world they've built. A world where neither has to ever let the other go completely. As the cracks start to show and secrets begin to surface, Magnolia and BJ are finally forced to face the formidable question they've been avoiding all their lives. How many loves do you really get in a lifetime? I know that this is so many people's favorite series, so it's time to give it a shot. Then we have Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This has been all over TikTok. It completely went viral. Again, I don't know much about it, other than it being like a sci-fi? Oh no, dystopian fantasy. Psychic gifts are a death sentence and there are rules to survival. Trust no one, lie to everyone, and whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. Trust no one. When Ren Darlington has spent her whole life in hiding, honing her psychic abilities and aiding the rebel uprising in small ways. On the continent, being modified means certain death, and Ren is one of the most powerful mods in existence. When one careless mistake places her in the hands of the enemy and she's forced to join Silver Block, their most elite training program, she's finally handed the perfect opportunity to strike a devastating blow from inside their ranks. Lie to everyone. But training for Silver Block can be deadly, especially when you're harboring dangerous secrets and living in close quarters with everyone who wants you dead. And whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. As the stakes grow even higher, Ren must prove herself, but that's easier said than done when your commanding officer is the ruthless and infuriatingly irresistible Cross Redden, who doesn't miss anything when it comes to her. And as war rages between mods like her and those who aim to destroy them, Ren must decide just how far she's willing to go to protect herself and how much of the continent is worth saving. I heard nothing but fantastic things when this first came out and became viral, but as time has gone on and more people have read it, now I see a lot of mixed reviews, so curious. Then we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Again, this is her new release this year. I think this one, you get 3 different time periods and it's sapphic vampires. This is a story about hunger. 1532, Santo Domingo de la Calzada. A young girl grows up wild and wily. Her beauty is only outmatched by her dreams of escape, but Maria knows she can only ever be a prize or a pawn in the games played by men. When an alluring stranger offers an alternate path, Maria makes a desperate choice. She vows to have no regrets. This is a story about love. 1827 London. The young woman lives an idyllic but cloistered life on her family's estate until a moment of forbidden intimacy sees her shipped off to London. Charlotte's tender heart and seemingly impossible wishes are swept away by an invitation from a beautiful widow, but the price of freedom is higher than she could have imagined. This is a story about rage. 2019 Boston. College was supposed to be her chance to be someone new. That's why Alice moved halfway across the world, leaving her old life behind. But after an out-of-character one-night stand leaves her questioning her past, her present, and her future, Alice throws herself into the hunt for answers and revenge. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. That one is fantasy horror sapphic vampires. Then we have A Curse Carved in Bone by Daniel L. Jensen. This is the second book in the Saga of the Unfated. The first one I gave 5 stars. This one is Norse mythology. But like I've said about the first one, even if you don't know a ton about it, it makes it super easy to follow along. So none of it was confusing, which I really enjoyed. Also, if you like the show Vikings, I think you'll really like the series. I don't really want to read the synopsis to this, but basically in the first one, you're following Freya. I want to read the synopsis because from what I remember, I don't want to say anything that would be a spoiler. Bound in an unwanted marriage, Freya spends her days gutting fish but dreams of becoming a warrior and putting an axe to her boorish husband's back. Freya's dreams abruptly become reality when her husband betrays her to the region's Jarl, landing her in a fight to the death with his son Bjorn. To survive, Freya is forced to reveal her deepest secret. She possesses a drop of a goddess's blood, which makes her a shield maiden with magic capable of repelling any attack. And it's been foretold that such magic will unite the fractured nations of Scotland beneath the one who controls the shield maiden's fate. Believing he's destined to rule Scotland as king, the fanatical Jarl binds Freya with a blood oath and orders Bjorn to protect her from their enemies. Desperate to prove her strength, Freya must train to fight and learn to control her magic, all while facing perilous tests set by the gods. The greatest test of all, however, may be resisting her forbidden attraction to Bjorn. If Freya succumbs to her lust for the charming and fierce warrior, she risks not only her own destiny, but the fate of all the people she has sworn to protect. I ate that book up. Within like the first 10 pages, you start getting banter, and I was there for that. And then with this one, I did read to chapter 2 already in this a while back, but then The Night and the Moth came out by Rachel Gillig, and so I put this down to read that 'cause you know. But this one obviously continues off of this. There was a crazy cliffhanger at the end of this, and I'm very excited to see where that one goes. So, recommend the series. I don't know. I honestly don't know how many books are is a saga considered. Well, you learn something new every day. Saga doesn't specify a set number. So I don't know how many books are going to be in this. Those are the 9 books that I am most looking forward to. There's a couple on my Kindle from KU that I might end up reading too. So this isn't like a set in stone TBR. It's kind of just because I've been wanting to mood read so bad. Every time I've been setting a TBR, mentally I want to finish the TBRs that I make every single month, but then reality sets in of like, I don't want to read any of these now. And these are all the ones that when I'm thinking that, my eyes gravitate towards, and I'm like, man, I really just want to read that book now. So I'm hoping that because I'm doing this, maybe I'll be able to actually just stick to a TBR. But that is all that I have for you in this video. Let me know what your July TBR is going to be. Very curious what everybody is picking for like their summer TBRs. I feel like none of these really scream summer, but you know, it is what it is. If you made it this far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date with all my future videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!